Now, Peter Walton, the former Premier League referee, of course, on BT Sport, but in the Times this morning, he says, upon viewing the replays, Andy Madley, the VAR, should have seen that McCarthy did not touch the ball and made contact with Foden's ankle. He should at the very least have sent Moss over to the monitor to have another look. Moss made a clear and obvious error, the very thing VAR was introduced to correct. In this case, it only made things worse. All right. Mm-hmm. On this occasion, VAR, oh my God, a spectacular no moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's poor. I mean, you know, the argument and the debate about marginal decisions. And I think what I didn't like, I think Pep was absolutely right. I don't like the whataboutery. What about over here? What about over there? I don't like any of that nonsense. Focus on what the issue is in front of you. And the issue in front of you is as compelling as it needs to be, which is, you know, why has this happened, and what is going on with refereeing decisions, and why do they happen this way? But I don't like the assertion that he's making an assumption that this is referees. It's a diabolical decision. For a long time, referees have been pillared because of the scrutiny that the 360 degree access provides TV and gives to the viewer, and they've been pillared for it. Now they've been given a tool to utilise and to be able to get themselves out from underneath the errors that they make, and they're making fundamental mistakes. But when a manager turns around and says that he believes that this is because there is a directive to keep games competitive, because clearly if the penalty had been given, the goalkeeper would have to be sent off. Now that's an assumption that I think is dangerous territory, and you don't get the right to do that. You get the right to turn around and say, geez Louise, that's a diabolical decision.
Right, as a one-off.
But irrespective of it, it's still a bad decision, whether it's a one-off or not. It's a pretty bad decision that anyone besides Blind Pew could have seen.
Right, fair enough. But my question to you is this, Simon. How much longer will we keep taking isolated incidents like this to batter VAR? Now, this morning I had Alan Brazil in breakfast and right in, two-footed on VAR. Ali was talking about it, so too was Jamie. The bottom line is this. The evidence shows the positivity of VAR in the last 6 weeks, and it's undeniable. Correct decisions made by VAR. Now, I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but I'm going to take time out to tell you this, Simon.
Yep.
You want examples? We can give you examples. Does VAR do more good than bad? 110% more good. March the 6th, Burnley against Arsenal. Penalty and red card for handball against Eric Peters. Overturned as it hit his shoulder. The right decision. March the 2nd, Man City Wolves. Gabriel Jesus goal allowed after incorrect offside in the 90th minute. Right decision. Burnley Southampton, March the 1st. Michael Keane goal disallowed for offside in the build-up to against Mason Holgate. That one was right. Leicester Arsenal, February the 28th. Penalty cancelled as a foul on Nicolas Pepe by Ndidi deemed outside the area in the 14th minute. Yep. Right decision. West Brom Brighton, I remember it. The penalty missed by Pascal Gross, incidentally, for handball against Yukuzlu in the 17th minute. So again, early in a game, right decision. Leeds Southampton, February the 23rd. The penalty was cancelled after Llorente was adjudged not to have fouled Tella in the 33rd minute. Wrong or right? It was right. West Ham Tottenham, goal for Lingard, but allowed after an incorrect offside in the 47th minute. February the 20th, Burnley West Brom. Ajayi sent off for handball and denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity in the 28th minute. Right or wrong? It was right. West Ham Sheffield United. Penalty cancelled after Craig Dawson was ruled offside before being fouled by Stevens in the 5th minute. It goes on and on, Simon. I can list more if you need.
But Jim,
this is the last few days and weeks.
No one's been more of an advocate for VAR than me. I was at the front of the queue in terms of noise about the fact that we have to accept the foibles and peculiarities of it whilst we go through the teething processes. We have to get on with it. The old lags sitting in the background saying we shouldn't do this, we shouldn't do that. It's evolution. We've got to change the game. It's not funny to have jumpers for goalposts when big decisions are going against teams. World Cups and exits from World Cups may have been facilitated by bad decisions and whatever else. Teams
Lampard's
get relegated.
Goal against Germany,
people losing jobs because teams get relegated on the back of individual decisions. But VAR, its sole function in life is to get it right. and to get it right within a margin of error. You know, if you've got a broadband service, the broadband provider will provide you with something called an SLA, which is a service level agreement, which they guarantee an uptime, and if they don't get it that uptime, they have to pay you a financial penalty. I imagine there's an SLA facility around VAR that they should get 99% of the decisions right. So when we sit here and say they got this right, well, that's like saying somebody has done their job. Well done for doing your job, but that's what VAR is there for, to do its job. And then you nuance the argument against what VAR has taken away. VAR has taken away some spontaneity. It's taken some flow of the game. It's taken aspects of the game. It's also had to contend with some of the ridiculous, most unfathomable rule changes and rule implementations that have made VAR a compromised perspective. But behind VAR and behind everything is referees. And we can talk about VAR as some sort of global protocol and put it in isolation like something out of Big Brother or George Orwellian, or we can look at it. Actually, all it is digital technology that has to be utilised by human beings. And when you've got a human being sitting in front of a monitor that is that gormless, that he does not make a decision that is so blatant and that it's beyond the wit of man to understand why he wouldn't make it,
I agree.
then we can sit here and detail how successful VAR is in making these decisions that managers want. Managers want this constant, waxing lyrical about how this and how that and how the other. They've got what they wanted now, reap what they've sown. They want better scrutiny of decision-making processes. But you can't then say when a decision is made that's so poor, that's so evident, and you've got all the technology in the world to be able to make the right one, that they should be given a pass because they get it right 95% of the time.
But we're not saying giving them a pass. We're highlighting the fact that they screwed it up last night. Big time, red faces all round. But look, the good outweighs the bad.
And I'm in that camp. Have always been in that camp, and I've sat there listening to people turning around and saying it's stupid that we've brought VAR in, it's killing the game that we once knew. It doesn't need to be this way. Human error is something that we all accept. No, you don't. You don't accept human error. Managers don't stand on the side of dugouts or sit in press conferences after the game.
So should we forgive them for last night?
No, for that because it's
but the moment's gone,
mistake.
Simon. The moment's gone.
But it's an appalling mistake.
We agreed on that, but what else can you do about saying get it right next time?
Get better referees. Get better people that are clearly capable of doing their jobs at moments when it's clear and evident that people aren't. You are given all of the tools. If it's marginal, you turn around and say it's subjective. There's an element of subjectivity about this. This isn't subjectivity. This is stupidity. It's poor of the highest order. And VAR, you've got all the tools. We sit here and the referees are getting pillared and vilified and castigated and criticised. How can you not turn around and say that is bang unacceptable?
We accept it was unacceptable. We've accepted the unacceptable. But at the bottom line is this: it's not going away. VAR is here to stay.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the refereeing standards behind VAR should go away because they're so poor.
Simon, does more good than bad. How much longer are we going to keep taking isolated minority incidents like that last night and then batter VAR? Seriously, we've got to stop this. It doesn't happen in other countries. Why is it just happening here? There's always a pile-on in VAR. Surely that's got to stop.